welcome to my channel. I'm Mark, this is Mark's Mod, and today guys we're going to be doing our Harshep Titanic build. So we are going to do issue 122 of Build the Titanic. Yeah, this is the one I think we've all been waiting for a while, and yes, we're going to be finally putting the decks together. Now, I had quite a few messages on my last video about 122 coming up. I don't know how this is going to go. I'm just going to do it in my usual way, and we'll just see how long it takes and what's going to happen. But I'm fairly looking forward to this one. I don't know why. Yeah, we finally get to put all the decks together, which is going to look phenomenal. But yeah, for some reason these days I do like a good challenge, and this does look like a really good challenge. Now, I've read through the instructions. I've been reading through the instructions for about a week now, just to make sure that I'm clear on everything. I think I've kind of got a gist of what they're wanting us to do, so hopefully, fingers crossed and touch wood, it's not going to be that bad. Well, let's get seeing then. So, with all that said, let's get modelling. Okay guys, here we go. So this is aft well deck and main deck assembly. So what it's asking us to do first of all is we need to locate this wire here. Now this wire we added in the last issue that we did in 121. And what it's asking us to do is to put this wire, I'm going to just make sure it's right, down this hole just here. Now I've got my Promenade deck actually on the Titanic stands I did, or the deck stands. Okay, so that's now through that hole there. Okay, so that's like a lot of instructions for one cable. After you've done that, it just basically says fit the Promenade deck to the bridge deck, check that all the pegs circled in red fit into the corresponding holes in the bridge deck. Right, not a lot of instructions there to what we need to do. Oh, right, okay. So I'm going to take this off its stands. I'm going to try and lay this on top. Now, I wish they would have done the mast a bit better, so I'm just going to move the camera back, because yeah, right, okay, so I want to get this kind of lined up. The problem is we have the boat deck to go on after we put this deck in, and there's some little sort of tabs that are sticking out that are going to support that. I think once I get past them, I'm just sort of popping them out as I go along, it should go into place. So the deck is flexible enough just for you to sort of pull it out to get them tabs out. Okay, so that's more or less down in its place. Okay, so whoops, just broke something there, but I'll easily fix that in a second. It's just one of these that's come off. Just want to make sure everything is lined up where it should be. You can sort of hear it going into place, which is not a bad thing. Now I'm happy that the back is lined up. I think I'm happy the front is lined up as well. Okay, I think that's okay. Right, so I just need to put this back onto here, which isn't a problem. I have got my glue out ready just in case something like this happened. So we'll I'll quickly repair that. It's not a problem. Would help if I could get a little bit of glue out of it though. Okay, that's a lot of glue out of it, but I'm not that bothered. Because this is a great stage to be at on this build. Okay, so I'll just fit that back into place. Okay, so that's back into place. Right, so now we've got that in place. That wasn't as hard as what I thought it was going to be. We need to screw this down. So we'll literally need to lift this up now and kind of balance it a bit. It's a bit hard with the mast on, but I'm going to try and use my little blocks here just to grab hold of it. Right, now we're screwing this down. 2, 4, 6, 8, 10, 12, 13 AP screws. Now these were supplied in the previous issue. So here we go. So I'm going to do this end first of all. Start from the front and kind of work my way back if I can. It's really hard to show you because obviously the size of this, but we'll know because I'll feel if that gets grabbed. And that has gone in. Okay, so that's one in there. Just trying to keep this balanced on its side. I think that's the hardest bit at the moment. Okay, so one down at the bottom. I'm not forcing these in. I'm just doing it one at a time. And just following the diagram of where the screws need to go. Now I am noticing this wiring is, these pads are ridiculous. They don't hold, I mean, because they're not giving us some proper cable clips. You know, come on. Okay, one at the bottom. Okay, I'm not over tightening these screws because I don't, they are plastic screws, so I don't want to damage anything. So just bringing this up here, I've got another two just here. That's another one. I'm just going to try something. It's got these blocks. The problem is it won't go on its side because of the mast at the back. But I've just propped the back end up. If I just show you that. I'll just prop that back end up so it will go forward a bit, giving me a bit more room. Okay, so the next two are one here and one there. So I'm not having any problems so far. Screws are going in. Okay, so that's another 2 in. So we've only got 5 more to go. Move the camera to the next 2. So, here we go. That's another 1. Okay, so that one there is spinning a bit. It felt a bit out at the back, so I just kind of popped it in. So this is the first one I've had a little bit of trouble with. See if it catches now. Yeah, it's bitten it. Okay. Right, so last 3 on the back. And that will be our Promenade deck in. So it's quite nice to be finally putting these in. Okay, so that one's a bit out. You can kind of see the hole of it, which should come in. That's caught it. Okay, so last one at the end here. Hopefully this one goes in. Yeah, I can feel that's caught that. So our 13 screws, 2 I had to kind of realign, but they're in. Okay, so that is our Promenade deck in. So if I just show you, that's the Promenade deck all in place. Fantastic. I'm really chuffed with that. Right, so next thing we need to do, I'm probably going to have to pause the camera here because I need to bring over the boat deck because we've got some more of them stickers to put on. So yeah, I will be back in a sec.
A few moments later.
Okay, so here we have our boat deck. Now, here we go. We've got to put some more of these, I wouldn't say brilliant, stickers on. So the first one needs to be down here. Okay. Then we need another one holding the wire just down here. So we don't want it to go into where the promenade, not the promenade, the grand staircase area. Okay. And then one, oh right, okay, one just at the front. I thought that might have been a bit better further back, but I want one just there. Yeah, I'm just making sure that that's correct. I'm not too happy with that one actually. I think it wants the wire, yeah, wants this wire to go just over that screw hole there, and then it wants the sticker. You know me guys, unless it's right I'm not gonna stop until I get it right. Okay, so that's correct. Right, the next one it wants is coming off this circuit board. It wants one just around there. Okay, sorry you didn't see that one, just there. And if I come to the back, I can move this slightly. Once one more or less immediately after it, just here. Okay, then we've got one last one, and that wants this one to go up there. Okay, right, so now that's done, we need to bring our other decks across. So I'm just going to move this back so I can bring it across. Right, so I'm marrying this up now. Right, so first thing it wants us to do, I'm going to make sure I do this first. This cable here, that's coming up through there, it wants us to fit that into this socket just on here, just in the background there. Problem is lining it up to get it in. Try some tweezers. It's definitely going in the right way. Okay, just had something come off as well, which I kind of need to put on, was just this metal bit. I'm surprised that's come off because I did use quite a bit of glue on them, but maybe what we're doing, yeah, so I'll just put more glue on there just to glue it back in place, I suppose. Not a problem. We definitely want to go back on before we add our deck, our boat deck. Right, that is not going down, so I'm just gonna use some pliers to try and click that back into place. It hasn't damaged anything, don't worry. It's just where the old glue was. You need this to be flat on it. Okay, I'm not totally happy with that. Okay, now I am. Right, okay. Right, so we need to thread some wires. So we've done this back wire here. Now we need to thread through the wires for the smoke generators. So the first one it wants us to do, I'll just move the camera down, is this is the third funnel. That's just going to go down a hole just down there. And what I'm going to do is going to pop it through and kind of pull it out like that. Okay, funnel number 2 is this one here. That's going to pop down a hole just down there. Pop it through, pull it out. Funnel number 1 is, we've got a hole just here, and that's just going to fit through down there, and I pull that out. Okay, so they are now pulled out. Right, so next it is asking us to fit the bridge deck. Now I'm just looking, it says fit the boat deck on top of the promenade deck, take particular care to align the sides and corners correctly, and use 14 AP screw supply with previous issue to fix the promenade deck to the bridge deck, together with red circles on the other side of the bridge deck, indicate position of the screw holes. Right, so I'm going to try and position this first of all. Into the correct position, and I'm also going to try and pull the wires through for the smoke stacks, just like that. Okay, right, if I move this back a bit, I can start to line everything up that needs to be lined up. Sorry about that, guys. Right, it is more or less lined up, apart from it just needs bringing back a tiny bit more. Everything should pop in and line up. Right, now just noticed here I've got a rogue wire coming through, which I don't want. If I just try and pick that up, I think it's actually a wire that's going to come out down the bottom. Is it? No. So I need to try and hide that wire somehow. Right, so let's try and hide that in there. That wire is still there. It's still there. Get off. Right. Okay. Now something's stopping the back. It's literally got to go into pegs. Right, that one's in at the back. Okay. Right, so I'm kind of happy with it. Kinda. Yeah, it's definitely some adjusting. Right, I want to see how it's lining up with the holes. It's more or less there. It really is more or less there. In fact, that front has just gone nicely down into place. Okay, I think I'm at the stage where I could possibly start popping the screws in. I think I am. So that's 14 screws for this. Right, okay. Not many then. Okay, right. So I'm going to try and get 2 at the front, 2 at the back to start off with. I think that's the best way to start this. So if I just move this onto its side. Right. Just bring this in. Right, so the 2 at the back. We have literally got to go through the decks. Put these in. So I'll show you what I mean. We're going to go through the deck there and into a hole. It's like blind to get the screws in. I'll just try the bottom one. Okay, so that's 2 in there. Right, I'm going to try and put 2 in the front now, just so I know that the front end and the back end are all in one. So let's do that. You might be able to kind of see what I'm doing ish. But we've got 2 screw holes at the front. I really need to go around and clean the bridge deck. Sorry, the boat deck, because it's been storage for so long. It does need a bit of a clean. Okay, so them back ones and the front ones are now in place. Very exciting. Very, very exciting. Okay, so it's a case of working your way now forward. Okay, I picked up an extra screw there, but you know. Right, so the next 2. I grabbed it. Okay. Right, that's not grabbing hold of anything. No, that's not grabbing hold of anything. So let's figure out why. Location there, around this point. Have I got any wires stuck in the way? No. One side's in. Just bring it around. Oh. I think it's just popped into place then if you heard it. So let's try. Get one in again. Oh, come on. No. Right, it's around this section here. It kind of grabs it. Let me just check it's not the screw. It kind of grabs it, but it doesn't. If that makes sense to anybody. I can see the hole. That it's got to go into. Right. It looks like it's going to go into something, but then it kind of slips out. Right. I think I'm going to have a look at this one, guys. Just pause the camera and have a look and see what is wrong. So back in a sec.
Eventually.
Okay, guys, I am back. Right, it's in. The boat deck is in. To be perfectly honest with you, putting the promenade deck onto the bridge deck was okay. Putting this onto it, nightmare. Absolute nightmare. Now, my advice would be, I kind of, you know, I was going to come back to it and everything, and it was, don't do it live. That's one thing I'll say. It's not easy. The best way to do it is, I started from the front, which is there, and basically making sure everything's lined up. No wires were in the way as well, because you've got to be careful of that. So I got it in there, screwed it in, and basically worked my way down the hull all the way to the back. The back was the hardest bit to get in. There's a wire just around here that needs to be in a tiny little sort of opening for it to get through. If not, the deck is not going to line up with the promenade deck. And then right at the back here there is a tab or a lug. You've got to get it in. Again, not very easy. So it's in, and I made sure it's flat and everything. So I am actually happy with this. It's turned out how I was wanting it. It could have been easier, and I think it could have been designed a bit easier as well, but it is what it is at the end of the day, but it's in. Okay, so if we could just continue with the magazine, the next thing it's asking us to do is to put some decking on. Now, as you know, I do my decking, I wood glue it down and then do seal it. So this is our aft rear well deck. And what it's asking us to do, after we've put the decking down, stuck that down and everything, we have got another LED strip, and it wants us to fit this LED strip into place. So that we can do. Okay, I haven't done one of these for a while actually. So yeah, I'm gonna have to get a flat. Right, it's in. Right, that one's in, and that's in. Okay, that's in. Now it just wants us to test this once we've got it in, and I'll be glad to have this issue done. And that's all working. Oh, that's because batteries have come out. That's all working. Excellent. So everything is done. Not the easiest of issue to do. It is tedious. Like I said, the promenade deck to the bridge deck is fine. It's when you start to put the boat deck on, that is where you're gonna have a few problems. That's where I had a few problems, to be honest with you. But keep at it, take your time, walk away, go to bed, leave it till the next day. Just take your time with it, do a bit at a time, and trust me, you'll get there. But that is issue 122 complete. Well guys, that's it for issue 122 of the Titanic. Thank you for watching. Not the easiest issue to do, and yeah, you do really have to take your time with it. Sometimes it's hard for when you're doing videos like this to actually show what you're doing, especially when I'm looking at thinking, if I really recorded this as I was doing it, goodness me, we'd still be watching it next Wednesday. It did take its time, and I actually did have to leave it on the desk overnight, come back to it the next day fresh-eyed and keep at it again. So not the easiest thing to do in the world, so take your time. That's all I'm going to say on that one. Take your time and you'll get there. There is the light at the end of the tunnel for this issue. Anyway, if you like this video, please can give it a massive thumbs up. If you haven't already subscribed, please remember to subscribe and hit the notification bell, and you'll be notified of any future videos. But as for always, stay safe and bye for now.